The views expressed in this interview are not the views of Grieving Our Babies podcast. I'm the lovely co-host, Janice Hodges Hawkins. Enjoy the show.
Welcome everybody to Grieving Our Babies podcast. I'm the host that cares the most, Kalvon Hawkins. This is the space where you can come and tell your stories, your pain, your journey through grief. Tonight's guest, Ty Wilson. How you doing today?
How you doing, sir? I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I seen you had reached out to me when you was watching other podcasts and said you wanted to come on the show, and I was like, whenever you ready, brother, just let me know. And it took you a minute to get the nerves. I understand because it's a hard thing to do, but I'm glad to welcome you here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, you're doing big things in the community. I mean, actually all over the country. And so, of course, I felt your spirit. I know some of your story, watched it, and lived some of it to a certain degree, and just wanted to, brother to brother, man to man, come and share. And it's a blessing when you can be amongst somebody who understands you, because not everybody understands the situation. So, again, I appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. People just don't understand until it happens to them.
Exactly. So, and which, of course, you don't want that to happen to somebody, but it's like it's hard to talk to certain people when they can't connect, or they may say something that's insensitive, and I try not to fault them for it because they don't know. But again, like I said, brother to brother, father to father, sorry for your loss, and thank you for the opportunity to come and speak about my baby girl.
Appreciate that. Sorry for your loss also. That's what I'm here for, to help all parents like us, man, because we need to stick together and to talk to one another, to help each other. So this is why I created this platform, Grieving Our Babies podcast, so y'all will have some place to come and talk to me, because while I'm giving y'all an outlet, this is also helping me too, because if I'm just sitting down, my depression starts to kick in, and I start thinking about stuff. So thanks for coming on the show.
No problem. Thank you.
So, baby girl's name, what is it?
A'Rayah Sunshyne Wilson. Yes.
I like that. And then I see y'all called her the Princess Warrior.
Yes, she definitely was. Of course, she was not able to make it out of the NICU, but myself, her mother, my parents, was able to get the chance to meet her, because it was real tight as far as strict rules, because we had her during COVID. And so, but she definitely, the doctors, the nurses, everybody identified her as Princess Warrior, because she overcame a lot of complications, and a lot of where they say, oh, this is supposed to happen and that was supposed to happen, but God turned things around in many situations that I'm still truly blessed for. So, yes.
And she was born April 30th, 2020?
Yes, she was. The same day as my grandmother's birthday. And so I was just, of course, makes me smile and gives me chills to know that they have that connection. So, yes, sir.
Also, so she was born preemie, right?
Yes, she was born 3 months early. We had different complications as far as thought that we was going to lose her, and then when we went and tested and got more tests done, then she was good again. And then we got tests again, and she was down, and then she was good again. And I just truly was willing to see it all the way through and ask God that whatever his will, let it be done. And we was able to have her, even though she was born 3 months early. Yes.
So when y'all was going back and forth to the hospital, and then getting like the ultrasounds and all the tests done, was it? Did they know that she was gonna be born preemie, or they thought she was gonna go full term?
Some doctors had the faith and encouraged us that she would make it through, and some doctors encouraged us in a different way, where trying to make certain decisions that would have been tough to make. But I believe and that everything kind of happened in the sense of a blood clot situation. So she ended up having rough time transporting blood and fluids to the baby through the umbilical cord, and that's why we had different issues with her stunt of growth. But like I said, we was able to have her, and even though we knew it was going to be a struggle, possibly having her premature, and I'm thankful for the love and the support that's around us that tried to assist us in whatever ways. But yeah, we had her 3 months premature because of certain complications. So yeah.
While she was in what is it called, NICU?
The NICU, yes. So it's the intensive care unit for the babies, and so they're under monitors and surveillance and everything like that to make sure that the baby is getting 24-hour care and watch on while they continue to grow. So
while in the NICU and stuff, I know you were saying she was having complications, but was she getting stronger and gaining weight or making progress to where y'all thought everything was going to be all okay? And what was the doctors telling y'all?
Yes, sir. That's kind of how she got the Princess Warrior name, because she was doing so well. She was growing every day. She was becoming more active every day. We did have to sit through several blood transfusions and whatever the case may be. But yeah, she was growing. She was doing well. And right before her passing, the doctors had just talked with myself and her mother about bringing her home, preparing to bring her home. So.
And then you said her passing, that was when, July 31st, 2020?
Yes, she lived for 3 months. And yeah, it was hard. I know, like, for example, our situation is different than others as far as how they lose children. But losing a loss of a child, I mean, that right there alone is just enough, a lot, regardless of how it happened or how long you had the child for, because they are hers, And so, yeah, she lived 3 months, and it was nothing but God, because I remember it being on a Friday, and I kept hearing God telling me while I was at work to get off early, go see your daughter. She was located in South Bend Memorial, where they did great work over there. But yeah, I kept hearing God tell me, and I listened to him, and I ended up doing a half a day that day at work. And I went to South Bend, and when I got there, they were doing CPR on her, and her numbers had dropped. And the nurses and the doctors was like, Mr. Wilson, I was calling you and called your wife, and we was trying to get a hold of you, and I told them I don't have no phone calls, I don't have no messages. But while I made it to her room, my phone binged with a missed call, a voicemail that never came through. And it was nothing but God for me to be there and hold my daughter's hand while she passed on.
But how was she like the day before? And did the doctors tell y'all why, or she had a sudden change and her levels started to drop? Do they inform y'all anything, or do they even know why?
So the day before, she was doing well, a little puffy to a certain degree than usual. Her mother at the time had several concerns, and we had laid out a plan where I would work, and we lived here in Michigan City. So I would work, and I had her just solely being at the hospital. Be at the hospital. I want you to take care of her. She needs you the most. And so we agreed on that, and I worked every day, and after work every day would drive to South Bend and then drive back and go to work and then drive to South Bend and drive back. And so she was doing well. She was doing well. That day that she passed, they were saying that her numbers was acting a little funny. And actually, they had told me that once I got there, because I had not really heard much word that day. Like I said, I had only worked a half a day, so it wasn't much of the day that had started. And I believe in my heart, wholeheartedly, that it was a staph infection. And the reason that I believe that is because she had tubing, she had tape to hold certain things in place, and they had to remove that tape from time to time to clean it. And because she was so sensitive, her skin, she's a newly born baby, I believe that sometimes, and I don't believe it was purposely at all. South Bend Memorial did a great job, but I believe that they pulled off the tape from time to time to clean it, which caused her to bleed. And I believe with bacteria and whatnot, it ended up becoming a staph infection situation. So yeah.
So you was able to go in there and then see her.
Yes. I had made it just in time to see them do the CPR on her. And one of our things that my daughter and I had was I would put my finger, because she had little hands, of course, being a premature baby, put my finger in her hand, and she would hold it tight, strong, One of the things that I was very proud of and thanking God for, that she had such a strong grip, and right there I knew that she was a fighter. And I would give my finger, and she would hold it tight. And because of how strong she would hold my hand, I would take any opportunity to definitely pray, and I felt like she was in agreement with the prayer by holding my hand. And so when they were doing the CPR on her, they kind of had her covered up to a certain degree. And I had my finger in her hand, and she grabbed it, and she was holding on to it real tight, and her numbers was going, and then I felt her loosen up, and I just broke down, because I knew what that meant. And doctors kept going, and they kept going, but they did not understand what I understood. And it wasn't me giving up on my faith or hope at all. But I know the conversation that I had with God, where I asked him to heal her. And I realized as time has gone on that his way of healing and our way of healing are different. Our ways are not his ways. And so he healed her and got her away from here. And I'm thankful for the time that we had. And I just know that she knows that her parents was there with her.
Yeah, bro, that's, man. Yeah, that's, yeah. I understand your pain from father to father, especially losing a baby girl. I'm thankful I was able to spend as much time I was able to spend, but like you said, you also thankful for the 3 months that you have. How has it affected you and your wife, and how is she doing?
Because of this situation and numerous of other struggles and complications, we are no more husband and wife. Um, I think of her, and I hope that she's doing well. But we're in a place where um, I believe that she has to heal in the way that she needs to, and I needs to heal in the way that I need to. And we tried to do it together, but it just did not work. And so I wish no harm or no bad word. I hope she's doing well, because I know that it's a day-to-day struggle, and it's a very sensitive situation. But regardless of where me and her are at currently, or wherever the future may hold, for other opportunities for spouses or children or whatever, that's something that I know that we'll have to share together. And again, I wish her blessings.
Yeah, that's the reason why I asked, because I know when we was going through it, me and my wife, that it almost made us, get a divorce also. And man, I don't know you like that, but like you said, hopefully all us have something in the near future, and you have to heal on different ways, because I had to heal in a different ways, man. I mean, like, my family lost me for 3 years from me being depressed, and I can't get that back, but I had to take accountability for what I had done. And then once I got back up, I'm just thankful that I was able to keep my family, but it's not all peaches and cream, I'll tell you that.
It definitely isn't. You don't marry to get a divorce, and when you say those vows, for better or for worse, just because our marriage did not succeed does not mean that we didn't try. And trials and tribulations come, and I'm pretty sure you probably have seen this or dealt with this. Some people be like, oh, my husband, or oh, my wife, but you don't know what it's like until you actually get married. It's more than just a piece of paper. And we for the longest was trying to live right and go about things right, and then we had something major like this, and hurt people. That's just a fact. And with us trying to grieve together, we have different backgrounds, different upbringing, different levels of faith. And so even though we was trying to mesh it together, in ways it was pulling us apart as well. And so it's definitely tough, on two people who have gone through a pain like losing a child. And then also with our generation, our age group, social media, all that stuff, BS, I'ma just be real, people being all in your business, and then you start putting your business out there, and alter stories on how you look at things, and whatever happened and whatever didn't happen, and a lot of opinions and voices come. And not just from the outside, but you go through stuff like this and you start hearing stuff yourself. You know what I'm saying? As they say, it's an angel and the devil over here. And I'm not going to say that that's real or not. People have their own opinions on that. But you also have to long for what you want to hear. You can't keep, and I'm not talking about me in particular or her in particular, I'm just saying in general, that you can't allow the outside noise or the disruptive feelings to really destroy what God has brought together, And again, even though our situation did not work, I believe everything happens for a reason. And we went through this for a reason, and we tried, and now it's just to the point where, like I said, I wish her well.
Yeah, sometimes outside influences can be the worst influences that they are, because they're not really in, like you said, in your situation, so they just only going by their opinion or what they think they see, but they don't know what's truly going on.
Exactly. Like we just said, you don't know until, excuse me, you don't know until you're actually in it, till you actually lived it, until you actually been in those shoes. I don't wish this on nobody. I've had to deal with a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, and it's nothing but my faith, my family, my church, God, period. That's the only one that I've had to depend on. Even, seeing y'all special and knowing about Keisha's situation, where you mentioned that sometimes you just had to be in the room by yourself in the dark. And for those that have faith, I was speaking for myself, I was crying, I was pleading, God, answer, please give me my strength back, my hope for life back. Of course, this life is not promised that it'll be easy, but at the same time, I know that I'm a child of God, and my faith has been the only thing that has truly led me to get through the wilderness of depression and anxiety attacks and social media and outside world, or even being able to see my little cousins running around, and it's kind of like, man, I could see my daughter with them, and they're not the reasons to be blamed, for the situations, and it's just a lot of things. As you may know, it's just a lot. You can't name every single thing, and everybody deals with it differently. But I'm just blessed to be where I am now. I'm doing so much better now, and I'm excited for the future. And I feel like I know my daughter has come to me in my dreams through butterflies. I bought a house, and I made sure that plant flowers all around it because I want those type of insects, not necessarily any bug, of course, but the butterflies and stuff to come around to make me feel like, hey, baby, I see you.
Yeah, that's what my wife got. And like in some of my other family members, it's a butterfly tattooed on them, and I think it says pretty to see, hard to catch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like, as far as like me being depressed, and in that room, man, one day I just like, I'm sick of this. So I had rolled out of the bed, man, got on my hands and knees, and I just like, I said, Lord, I'm trying it my way. My way is not working. So what I need for you to do, and I'm asking for you to do, is just, I'm praying that you help me. I was asking for help, and I said, and I'm also asking you to take everybody around me that doesn't need to be around me away from me right now. Please. Man, I did that. Nah. He left me with like 5 people to talk to, man. And I feel better.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly, 100% I'm with that. I had to isolate myself, even from, my parents, or the ones that really been down for me. And of course, I pray that in their heart they never took it personal, but they knew what I was going through. And a lot of them just did not have the words. A lot of times it's no words, it's just more so a hug, a smile, being there in the moment. I've even had a couple friends or even family members that just came and just sat in my living room with me. And I'm just sitting there watching TV. We ain't had to talk or nothing. It was just a company. But then I had to get to a point where, Tyler, you have to be fine by yourself. You need to live in this by yourself. You can't keep wanting somebody to be attached to you or next to you, And after I just full-heartedly just for God, and I was brought up in the church, and I'm more spiritual than religious now that I'm older and understanding a lot of different things. But God truly had to isolate me. He really had to have me in a place where I was by myself, have my own thoughts, go through my own feelings, only trust in Him, know that He is the only one that's going to bring me out and bring me through. And it was the best decision I ever made. And also, one more thing is that He reminded me that he's there all the time. Because after so long, I had to realize God told me to go to that hospital. There's no ifs, ands, or about it. I didn't know what was going on. And I just kept hearing it. And I was just like, I need to go see my baby. And I got there just in time to be able to hold her before she passed. And so, you know, now that I'm doing so much better, I'm just thankful. I'm thankful.
Yeah, man. Like that, isolating yourself, sometimes that's a good thing. Nah, I just travel by myself, man. Then, like, once I know I need to get away, man, I look on my phone and I grab the phone and give me a load and get on my semi truck, man. And once I do that, it's like I'm free.
Yeah. You know, I did notice that I saw on your platform that you drive or have a CDL. And I do as well. And so I don't do like long journeys or anything like that. I'm more so, I work for the city. I'm inside of the city. Sometimes I'd have to do dump trucks or whatever the case may be out in the country. But I'm telling you, man, I put in my headphones, my Beat headphones, and I just be cruising. You know, driving has become my therapy. Those that know me, bowling is my therapy. I see you got the little kids. I think Tuesdays.
Yeah, every Tuesday. From ages, 4 to 16, and then now, with the bowling, they taking all my pockets, man. They scream up. It's time to get Papa Frost pockets and stuff because I pay them. At first, I was saying, oh man, y'all can't bowl and stuff. So I was like, you know what? Today and today only, I said, I'm going to pay y'all $2 for strikes and $1 for spares. Hey, man, they took me for $100 and something, man, almost $200. And then I told my wife, listen, that's the last day. She said, that's every week now.
Yeah. Kids, they're so innocent. And they, if you put them, I believe in my heart that kids want structure. They do better in structure, and so when they're just like, for example, you gave them a task, something that they had to get them screws tight and let's get it going, let's get a little bit more serious, and run in and throw a ball and then run to the arcade, and you be like, come on, you still gotta keep bowling, But giving them a goal like that, I'm not shocked at all that them kids start doing the thing, and so bowling has been my therapy for the longest. My parents, I was a bowling alley baby, and that was one of the things I was gonna make A'Rayah a bowling alley baby. I mean, everybody knew about her, and so I'm the president of the Sunday League, Sunday Fun Timers. Shout out to y'all, my guys, my fellas, my ladies. And we have a good time. It's so much, it's like fun. It's just family, and it's just love and support. And, we've lost a couple of people, and we come together and we put money in and give out cards and just be there for one another. And I felt that from my Sunday family. And so, like I said, bowling, writing, journaling, speaking. I've become such a great speaker after the death of my daughter, because I have that drive to want to help, want to encourage, want to share my knowledge. It grew me real quick. I've always been told that I was mature, but this took me to a whole nother level, because you just don't see that journey happening. And then when it happens, it's kind of like, you gotta strap up and go through it. And all of those hits and bruises and scars and scratches, now come out so much stronger. And I just want to help the next person. And I know that I did not lose my daughter just for my behalf, but to be able to help others, just like you doing with this podcast.
Yeah, because when we lost our daughter and stuff, I was literally gone. I was on the brink of death. I had gave up on life, man. But now I got the book in that name, Justice for Nikisha, A Father's Pain. I'm a 2-time award-winning author with the the editor S.L. Jackson out there, and we got the Hulu, like you said you watch. We got the foundation. We got the bowling league. We got this podcast now, and I was able to meet a lot of people on my journey and stuff. And at first, kids used to be scared of me. I'm just like, no, I ain't messing with him. But now I can go through the grocery stores, man, and kids run up to me and play with me, and their parents look at it and laugh and like, hey, man, I love kids, and I hate to see anything bad happen to a kid at all.
Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, again, they're innocent, and then even if your child is 50 years old and you 70, that's still your baby. That's still your child, regardless of age. And so I even asked God to please give me the platform or the ideas of something of this type. I want to, from this root that I've had to deal with, I want branches to grow off of it. And I want to be able to do this or that in her name. And, like I said, being able to help others. And so, that's why I reached out to you. I know you from afar, but I reached out to you and said, hey, anytime, I can get the opportunity, can you get me on your podcast? Because this is a blessing to many. And I knew Keisha. And we went to school together. I think, was she supposed to graduate 12 or 11?
11.
11, okay.
She didn't even get to see her diploma. When we buried Keisha, I think it was a week later her diploma came.
Wow. Yeah, I graduated 2013. And so I knew her through passing. And so she was beautiful inside and out. And I remember, because I grew up in Eastport. And so I knew about the party, was supposed to go to the party. But even in that moment, I have to say that I heard God again that steered me off from going to that party that night. And I actually, even though I was in high school, I actually had chose to go to a church event instead of going to that party. I remember we had to sing out of town somewhere. They asked me to lead a song, so I was like, okay, well, now I really got to go. And so, and then I was in summer school, and I remember going to school, and I remember it was just so quiet. It was so quiet, and people was down, and I was just so lost on what happened. And then the news came out, and I was just like, oh my goodness, she was so beautiful, and so, again, sorry for your loss as well.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I had jotted down a whole bunch of different type of stuff, and I was asking God to give me different things to say. And it just got to the point where I was able to jot down some, but I said, I knew he'll be with us in this midst, and just going off the top of the dome, just talking about our daughters, our girls. And I always wanted to be a girl dad. That's why I got this shirt on. I want boys, but I just know that I have that heart for a little girl. And when I got her, and she looked just like me, I mean, I couldn't deny her at all. It was just kind of like, wow. And we had dealt with a couple, miscarriages. And so when she had more of the opportunity, I fought for her. I said, hey, regardless what the doctors were saying, and I believe in medical. I believe in science. My mother has been a registered nurse for many years, and so I grew up under all of that, and thought I was going to go into the medical field until God led me somewhere else. But I had faith. I just knew it. I mean, if anything, yes, we had different challenges in carrying her, but I said, what's her heartbeat? Her heartbeat was always strong. I said, this baby is alive. And y'all not about to end her life because of what y'all believe. You know, I choose to believe God. I believe God. I kept saying it. I would walk through the bed, the hospital room, and everything, and you know, I would put praying oil over my wife at the time, and I just made sure that He was in the midst. He was in the present, and whatever His will, I just let it be done. But I was fighting for my daughter. And when they said that it was a 50-50 chance for her, we said we're going to have, you know, emergency, you know, C-section and bring her out. They said it was a 50-50 chance. And while I'm sitting there watching everything, I'm making sure the mother of my daughter is fine, and I'm looking and I'm watching everything. And when they brought her out and she was just squirming, even the doctor that we had, it was a black doctor, I can't think of his name at the moment, but he had asked us if we wanted to listen to any music in the midst. I said, put the gospel on. Put it on. We need some faith. We need some hope. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I'm telling you, them doctors, they was looking at me funny because I was taught to talk this way. I was taught to learn and be this way. And once I became old enough to really take off on my own, this is, I believe, is the right way to live. Don't judge nobody on how they talk, how they walk, this and that. And I'm still a work in progress in myself as well. You know, don't hold me to the Christian line so strong, you know, because we all need forgiveness and repentance. But at the same time, I knew my mom would tell me, Tyler, the way you're going to get through is praising through. And it's got
Take your time, brother.
And it's gotten me through. It's gotten me through.
So I know you say you have God and faith. Did you seek like any type of help or anything, or?
Oh, of course. I'm headstrong for therapy too. I am. I got a hold of a beautiful, loving soul of my therapist, and she helped me. She helped me through. You know, even with the challenges of the mother of my daughter, regardless of what she believed or not, I was encouraging her to get therapy. I believe that God has given His people different gifts, and we need to use them. Yes, of course, you know, have faith in Him, of course, but faith without works is dead. You know, you can have all the faith, but you got to put in the work as well. You know what I'm saying? You can't just think that you're going to be fine one day. Now, sign me up. I need a therapist. You know what I'm saying? And I did. I went headstrong for it. And I remember even paying for it. I paid it myself. And if I had to work overtime to make it work, I knew it was something that I needed. And it's just work out that when you actually you have the faith and then you put in the work, God made those resources happen for me to be able to pay. You know, that it was no problem. And so I encourage everybody out there, get therapy. This world is what it is. We know what it is. And it's a lot of good, but it's a lot of bad out here too. And there's a lot of things that, you know, stray or direct our minds in different ways. And, you know, especially something like this, something traumatic like this, you need a straight line. You need guidance. You need help. You know, don't be afraid to get help, because if it's there and you want it just like we want anything else and we'll work for it, and when you just want that peace, I just wanted that peace. I ain't care for my house and the cars and the whatever the case may be, the money. I just wanted peace. And so that's what I longed for. And I was able to receive that.
Yeah, I fought therapy for but my wife, hey man, she was a strong woman. One day I had really lost my mind, man, and she was like, you know what? Let's take a ride. She took me over there to the therapist, man. Then the therapy lady, she seen me, the counselor. She was like, "Oh no, this is an emergency person," because she had another client in there.
Okay.
And she seen me, and she was like, "Take that lady, I'ma take him." So I guess my wife had already talked to her, but I went in there lying because I didn't want no help. You wanted me to get help. But then I went in there and I lied, and I told her, I said, "Listen, I'm cool, y'all. Ain't nothing wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lying. I just wanted to go in my room."
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally needed her, I called her back. I said, "I need your help." And she was like, "Kalvon?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "I'm not messing with you." But she said choice words. She said, "I'm not messing with you." She said, "I tried to help you before, and then you would not accept me." She said, "I'm not finna let you do this to me or your wife again." I said, "Listen, I didn't want the help. Now I'm asking for help." I kind of threatened her, to be honest with it. I said, "Listen, I'm on my way up there, and if you don't help me, I know what time you get off and what kind of car you got, and I'm going to be sitting outside your office, and I'm going to be waiting for you to come out there. You're going to talk to me." She said, "Come in."
And see, even right there, you was ready, and you have to be ready for you. One of the things I realized within the situation that I was in was that I was ready and a certain individual wasn't. And, you can't force things on people. It's not going to do nothing but make them run away from it even more. That person has to be ready for it. And just because you get the first counseling, you might need to find another one and another one and another one until you find the one that works for you. You know what I'm saying? And so, but like you said, when you was ready, you knew you was ready. I'll show up here. I'm going to be out there at this time, this and that. You was going to put in that work to get what you need. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and then like the last time I talked to her, I don't know when it was. I think it was about a year and a half ago. She was like, she wanted to do a Zoom call. Mm-hmm. I was like, "Why you change my appointment?" She said, "Kalvon, you don't need to see me no more. You done got it all figured out." She said, "So if you really need me, which I think you won't," she said, "I'm proud of you." She said, "So don't come back over here because you really don't need me. You got all this stuff that you got going on now. You done figured it out. So now I know I'm not a certified counselor and stuff, but like you see the studio, I got it set up like a counselor's office."
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice in here. And I got to the point where I needed a couple days out the week, then once a week, then once every 2 weeks, then once a month. And I haven't been in a while because I'm in a great place right now. But I still reach out from time to time, if I'm in that mood that I need to, because it's certain things that trigger, we're in August now, and her death anniversary is July 31st. I just went through that. And so even though I did not sign up for a session, but I used the tools that she gave to me. And I know I can reach out anytime, and she randomly reaches out to me, see how I'm doing. And every time I see her, I love on her. She knows who she is. I love on her, and I hug on her because she has helped me get through. And I'm telling you, it's a day-to-day struggle. We can get all the help we want. We can do all of this and just because you have all of this, I'm looking at you now. It's still a day-to-day struggle.
Oh man, listen. If I stay off the road, if I stay not doing podcasts, if I'm stagnant for like 3 days, the 4th day, you have to come and maybe peel me out. But if it's like a week of no podcasts or no on the semi-truck, sometimes my friends, the ones that I do have left, if they haven't heard from me, they'll come over here. And they used to like come over here and bang on the windows and stuff. And be like, "Yo, man, listen, we know what's going on with you. We got to lay eyes on you. You got to get up." I mean, like, July, that's our anniversary too with Keisha. I didn't fall. as much as I normally fall over the previous years because I had so much to do. I tried to fall, but my wife was like, come on, man. I see what's going on. You got to get up. You got podcasts to do. You got to help those parents because she know that helps me. So this right here, what I'm doing with you guys, this is my counseling.
Yeah.
Now I'm able to talk and now I'm able to move around. I'm able to now walk with my head held high. I never walked with it down, but I was always in a sad face or just a down demeanor, like a black cloud is over me. But now I used to go looking for what people say about me on Facebook, on social media. You know, social media, the devil.
Oh, yeah.
But now I don't care what nobody think about me, man, because how they feel about me, that's their business. Because I'm going to be truthful with you. I don't bother nobody. I be on the road and I travel and I'm in this studio. So the people that don't like me, they can't even tell you why they don't like me, man, because I don't even bother nobody.
Exactly. I agree with that because, I mean, I've had to deal with that and social media and accusing this and accusing that. And I just got to the point where I was like, the people that know me know me. That's just what that is. They know we're all capable of different things, but the people that know you know what you would actually do or not do, what you would say and not say, how you would act or how you won't act. And so even though I was grieving, I was very aware of my mind, and I thank God for keeping my mind, even when we see different people out and about, homeless or whatever, and have different issues. They went through whatever they went through that got them there. And what I've been through could have put me there. But I'm thankful that I have a sound mind. And like I said, my peace. One of the main things that I took from therapy was protect your peace. And so if that meant that I had to let friends go, I had to let family go, I had to pause in so many different situations, or even on my daughter's birthday or death day or Father's Day or whatever the case may be. Christmas is another hard one for me. With those days, I still have to protect my peace. And if my peace is to go for a drive, like you said, or to encourage somebody, or whatever the case may be, I don't want to dwell on that day and just be so down. I know that I have a job to do. And I was given this task for a reason, and it's to help people and also enjoy life. My mom would say, are you living or existing? And I was existing when it came down to this whole situation. But now I'm living, and even though she's gone, I'm trying to make her name live, her spirit live, and so exactly the same thing that you're doing with this,
Yeah, like my dad, before he passed away, he told me, and he sat down with me, he said, listen, you can be sad all you want, you can be this, but you create your own heaven, you create your own hell.
Yeah.
But he died of a broken heart, though. Like when Keisha was killed and we buried her, I found my dad dead 87 days later.
Oh my
so
goodness.
So I was dealing with that all in 2011. In July, Keisha, 4 days before her 18th birthday, she got a casket for her birthday, and then 87 days later, my dad died. I'm finding my dad dead.
Oh my goodness, so sorry to hear that. Respectfully, I don't want to end up like that. And again, I have to put in the work to not end up like that. And clearly you are too, breaking generational curse, even though it was just for that generation. But regardless, I mean, again, if people saw the Hulu special, which was beautiful, they would see that a broken heart could have took you out, but eventually you got up. I think your youngest son had said something on there where he mentioned about it was a new dad
Don't make me cry, man.
He saw a new light, and yes, it's God, but there's a sprinkle of Keisha in there too, that's got you going. You know what I'm saying? And I believe this life is spiritual, and I believe that my daughter could be possibly sitting right here, coaching me, "Go, Daddy, keep going," and Keisha could be right there, massaging your back. Because I just believe. I believe. And again, by believing, it has gotten me through, where some folks be like, "Tyler, you've been through this and you've been through that. How aren't you like this and how aren't you like that?" First thing, God, but also I know that it's also other people out here that has gone through worse. Yeah, we dealt with 2 miscarriages, but somebody could have been dealing with 10. I could have lost 1 child, but I know somebody that lost 3. It's just, it can always be worse, and so I believe that this world is spiritual. We are dealing with demons, and we have to be that light to push them away, guide them away.
Yeah, like one day I had, like at my dad's funeral, I was like upset, man, because I spoke at my, Keisha's funeral, and I also spoke at my dad's. By that time, though, my spirit was weary, and I asked the pastor, I said, "Hey, man, why me?" He grabbed me on my shoulder, and he's like, "Why not you?"
Why not you? Exactly. I believe that as well. I've even said that to other people that be like, "Oh, I'm going through this and oh, I'm going through that," and it's be like, I am sensitive to people's feelings, but I'm like, why not you? Why can't you? Why don't you feel like you are deserving or not deserving of this test? And so sometimes we got to go through that in order to help the next. And you did great at Keisha's service. I mean, you changed the whole atmosphere. I was there, and so.
Oh wow! So you did hear? Listen,
I heard.
when I spoke at Keisha's funeral, my little brother, he had came up to me afterwards. He was like, "I didn't know you was a preacher." I said, "What are you talking about, bro?" And then my mom looked at me. She said, "Yeah, man, you was preaching." Listen, when I was standing up there and I was preaching over Keisha's body, I know some of the stuff that I said, but then it turned, like, see how that light is in the studio? It was a bright light like that. I couldn't see anything. Yeah. And then once I stopped talking, I just seen, since she was in there, I just seen everybody jump up and start clapping. Yeah. And I'm like, what's going on? So that's when I gave the mic to the pastor, and he was like, "Well, I can't follow that." So
the Spirit used you, and it was shown. And not everybody can see through the spiritual realm, but somebody like myself that was raised up in that, I saw it. And it was a light. And the color was yellow, right? And
so the colors was yellow.
And it was bright yellow in there like the sun, and it was beautiful. And, in those situations, even when I've led songs in choirs or praise teams, or even just speaking, even in the midst, like I said earlier in this interview, that I wrote down some things, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to let the Spirit use me in the moment and just go off the top of the dome. That's exactly what you did. You went off the top of your dome, and you probably didn't say everything that you wanted to say, but you said just enough to possibly save a child. So then they won't be out here just thinking that life is whatever. Like, that situation for our age group, it was like any of us could have been there. With all them people that was at that party.
150 kids, man. 150 kids.
That could have been anybody. And if you didn't wake up that day, something wrong with you. Because I'm not saying I'm perfect by far. I was fairly woke at that time. But you woke me up even more, and it was like, those that, and I have a father, and I thank God for my father, but I've learned as I become older that sometimes your parents they give you what they have. And I believe most parents, for the most part, give you their all and their best. But sometimes you need to lean on, say, for example, another man, another father figure. And in that moment, if you didn't feel like you was a child of yours when you was up there talking, you was like the daddy of everybody that was in there, like telling everybody to get their lives together, you know? And like you said, you probably don't remember, and I don't remember word from word, but I remember the feeling. I remember feeling like this is another male that has helped shape me to think better and to live better and make better choices.
Wow, this is awesome. I guess God done bring us back together again because you knew my daughter, and then you was there when I preached.
Yeah.
Wow. And then now I have man, you know how, I don't even know how many kids I got. Like, people ask me, like, I know I have my other biological kids, but people were like, hey, man, how many kids you got? I'll be like, hey, 40.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'll be like 40 kids, man, because, like, your age, how old are you?
I just turned 30.
See, that's my son, his birthday. Like, she was been 30.
Yeah.
And then my son, he turns 31 on the 28th. But I have a lot of males, young males, they call me Papa Frost. And then they'll call my phone all the time. What's up, Pops? Or they'll come talk to me, or they call my phone and ask for advice, and I tell them to do it or don't do that, or stay away from that and go sit y'all butt down somewhere. And they be like, all right, Pops.
Exactly, because you could be a father that a child never had. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, when you spoke up there at Keisha's service and you talked to us kids, because it was full of kids, you know, it was just like you was the father of all of us, telling us, like I said, you know, us to get our acts together. And then also, I've prayed before, God, please send me males my way. Please send me females, motherly females, fatherly males, to still teach me and help mold me off the foundation of what my parents gave me, to still grow and have different avenues of learning different stuff from different people, because it takes a village to raise a child. You know, I can't put it all on my mama, put it all on my daddy. Everybody have their own trauma, their own issues. And I also be telling my my peers, I say, when, you know, now we're becoming older, we grown and all that different type of stuff. And so some of them have beef with their parents and this and that. I'm like, hey, your parents have their own stories. They have their own lives. They have their own trauma. And I just can only speak for my parents. I know regardless of what they gave or didn't give, I believe they gave what they had. And when you gotta grow up and take the baton and get what you need. And it might not always be from mama or daddy. It could be from Papa Frost. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could just be wherever you are willing to learn and listen. Wisdom, I'll take wisdom any day. I'll sit there. A lot of my peers and stuff may not want to listen to them old folks, but if they lived it, why not take something from it? Why not listen? Why not? If they trying to guide you the right way, why not? And so with you trying to guide us the right way, even the little kids that you're doing with the bowling, you never know. You might be the only father any of them kids see.
Yeah, because, like, sometimes, like, some of their parents would be like, hey, man, this kid won't listen to me. Hey, Papa Frost. I was like, what's up? They was like, hey, could you talk to them? So I'd take them to the side away from everybody else while we had the bowling thing. And then I'd be like, come on, let's go take a walk with me down this bowling alley. But when I bring them back, they done got their act right. Yeah. Then they'll look at their mom like, why you do that?
Yeah, because like I said, I believe kids want structure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they like the freedom of doing whatever they want, but when they got a solid parent or a solid individual that is a parent figure, and you look at them seriously and be like, hey, get your act together, but then they also look that you love them through your eyes, I believe they straighten up. And I know that when I had lost my daughter, I was feeling some type of way because it's all mixed emotions. But on Father's Day, at the beginning, right after I lost her, people were sending me Happy Father's Day. And I had one voice saying, well, you're not a father because I did not physically have my daughter. But then on the other side, I'm like, you are a father. So like I said, you have to pick which voice that you really want to listen to. But somebody told me, Tyler, regardless that you don't have your physical children here, you still a father figure to somebody. And it really changed my thought process on how to act, how to carry myself around people. Again, don't hold me to perfect, but when it comes down to kids, especially what I've been through, I grab up a little boy, and I try to encourage him to do better. Hey, come on, or if I know them, your dad wouldn't like that. Seeing them off the street, just like people did me when I was growing up. We know your mama, we know your daddy, and you don't need to be acting like that, and it straightened me up, even though I may not or did, know them, but we're fathers to so many. It's women out here that may not be able to conceive, but they're mothers to so many. And so, like I said, that day, that funeral, I remember when I was in my closet trying to figure out what I was going to wear because I knew the color was yellow. I remember all of that. And
you are absolutely right. The color was yellow, man.
Yeah.
And then, it was like we had Keisha in the yellow polos and stuff, but we didn't have any clothes that day. So we went to, we had ran to the mall, but the mall was closed. And the people looked and they seen us and they was like, hey, let them in. They was like, we're closed. They said, so what? Open the door. So we was in the store shopping by ourselves, man. They was like, what color is she wearing? So they knew the story, too. They was like, what color is she wearing? We was like, yellow. So they got us all yellow stuff. They gave us the manager discount and everything. They was like, go bury y'all baby.
That's angels. I don't care what nobody say. I've seen them with my own eyes. People that, and they may not even know God. They may not be even spiritual. But I believe that God can use anybody and anything. Down to from a person to a commercial to an animal. You know what I'm saying? And in that nature, even though they may or may not knew the situation, they allowed y'all to come in, give the discount, make sure y'all was right, and y'all came looking presentable to an unfortunate situation. But those angels, man, I call them out. I believe that. I believe that God will touch somebody's heart that may not even know him. He will touch their heart to let his will and his plan be done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, man, I'm glad you came in. And I seen you've been watching me since I was trying to get the podcast. You was like, hey, man, whenever that's up and running, can I please come on there? Then remember I asked you, I was like, you lost a baby? When I see how young you are, I said, you lost a baby? And you was like, yes, sir. I was like, okay, man. I said, whenever I get it up and running. And then once I started doing the interviews and we had did the trailer and stuff, that's when I reached back out to you. I was like, hey, man, it's up and running now. So whenever you ready, let's do this.
I've been watching you before then. I remember driving down the boulevard and seeing you out there.
Yeah, that's when I set the city on fire that day.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of knew about you through different people and like I said, knowing Keisha and different parents of different of my peers or whatnot. And then also, I mean, the frost, the color. Of course, you somebody that when you seen them the first time, you gonna see when you see them next time. Like, I know this guy may not be personally, but from the far, I've been watching you, and it's honorable what you do. I mean, people can say you a legend, one of Michigan City legends, and because of how you turned Michigan City around in different ways. And like I said, those that get the opportunity, please go to Hulu and look it up. I can't think off the top of my head what the title is.
It's on Hulu. Is the documentary is Web of Death, where episode 5 is called Facebook Live.
Yes, and it's beautiful, and I have encouraged people that I know that knew Keisha, or even my parents. I watched it at my house, and then I went to their house and logged in my Hulu on their account and sat in the living room and let them watch it. And so it was just kind of like, you know, it gives me chills. I'm grateful for this opportunity because, again, I can be in the midst of somebody who understands. And, you know, if I could help one person, I think this is right at the camera. If I could help one person, just one, to feel encouraged, to feel like they want to live another day. All we have is a day at a time. You know, tomorrow's not promised for nobody. I mean, it could be a very sickly person here and a very healthy person here. And it doesn't matter. I mean, the healthy person can go before the sickly person. You know, I just want to encourage, just like you are. You are one of the examples to encourage, to motivate, and to help change somebody's life, their thought process, and to know that they're not alone.
Yeah, well, I thank you for coming in today. I want to continue on talking to you. If you need me, man, you know, you got the information to hit me up, to ask me for any advice, or if you need any advice or just need anybody to talk to, man, just hit me up. Like how I always answer, I don't care if I'm here in the studio, out on the road, or in a different city, man. I'm always, my phone stay on me, so I always answer people calls. And I mean, sometimes I may not be able to get back to you as like right there, but I'll get back to you. I always do that. So it's been a pleasure for you to come in here. Is anything else you want to say?
You know, those out there who have your babies, hug them, love them. They may be irritating. They may give you a challenge. They may test your gangster. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, love them. They are here. They are healthy. You know, and anything can happen to anybody's child or anybody. You know, just love on your kids for me. Love on your kids for Frost. And, you know, I appreciate you, sir, for being yet another add-on to my village and for this platform and to keep my baby names alive, you know, A'Rayah Sunshyne Wilson, which I do give that credit to her mother, because I remember us laying in our room one day and she woke me up out of my sleep and she said, look. And it was, we had a sheet over the window and it was a ray of sunshine coming into our room. And she said, I know her name. And so, you know, I love you, baby girl. You know, you in my heart. You know, I'm doing everything that I can to bring your name to light, let people remember you, and hopefully, and I know that in the future, God will give me the resources and give me the thought process on what to do to carry that on. I've even thought of, you know, just going to the NICU, giving gifts. I'm asking God to please bless my finances to the point where I can go and just give out different things, you know, in honor of her. You know, and I believe that once somebody interacts with me and see the pain that I've been through, but see the joy and the peace that I have now, on top of trying to help somebody, it's going to encourage somebody to want to help other people. And I believe that's how the world should be. So again, those out there, please love your babies, kiss your babies, and yeah, I appreciate this opportunity.
Well, it was a blessing for you to come in and come talk to me, and it's a blessing to know that you was there in this situation and seeing me, as you said, and like everybody else said, that I preached at my daughter's funeral, and this, thanks for letting me encourage you and you to be able to watch me and watch what the things that I'm doing, and then you took something from that. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming in, Tyler Wilson, and signing off. I'm the host that cares the most. Until next time.
Yes, sir.
This concludes tonight's episode of Grieving Our Babies podcast. Come back and join us on this journey of healing. Grieving Our Babies podcast, where your voice matters, your pain is acknowledged, and together we find strength in sharing our stories. Go subscribe to us on YouTube and Instagram at Grieving Our Babies podcast. Remember, you're not alone. We're here with you, listening, understanding, and grieving together. If any parent want to come on the show and tell their story, go to Grieving Our Babies podcast invite@gmail.com. Until then, I'm the host that cares the most, Kalvon Hawkins.